Good morning. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. I thought I'd come on and continue painting this penguin insert for my interchangeable fence. This is where we left off yesterday. I can see you can see a little bit of the shine now, but I did put some shimmer. Good morning on the snow and the snowflakes. So we're going to continue on with the next element of this design. There'll be a lot of white painting today, and I have to be completely honest, I have never painted an igloo ever. So I'm a little nervous. I have an idea what I want to do, but knowing what you want to do and having it work out is two different things. So we will see. So we're going to start off painting all these pieces white, and then I'm going to try and dry brush some shading on them. And I hope it all works out. I think this penguin's adorable, and this is going to be a cute thing to add to the fence. And with the way winter has been this year, and I like penguins, I just thought, let's do something like this. So I want to say happy birthday to 4 of my friends on Facebook. 4 friends that have the same birthday. I won't name them, but holy smokes. I want to try and keep this particular design with the colors blue, white, gray. Now I do have another element that I'm going to have to figure out what color I want to paint that. But I kind of just want everything to blend. If you've seen my Let It Snow insert for my interchangeable sign, I really liked all the blues and whites, and to me it just screamed winter. So I'm trying to stick with that, but I do have to mix it up a little bit. And even though there's score lines on this igloo, I mean, just to paint it white and leave it like that, to me would just be a little bit boring. So I have to do some type of shading. Of course you can't do any type of highlighting on white. But I gotta figure out something. Oh, and I do have snowflakes for this, so I need to dig those out as well. That's not something you have to put on. I just thought for an extra element, that would be a nice added touch. And I'm kind of thinking, just by looking at this as I'm painting it, maybe not go with you know, trying to make this real solid white, letting that wood shine through, show through, not shine. Just adds a little bit more, a different look. And then what I can do, because like I said, you can't really highlight white, what I can do is maybe dry brush some white on to those areas. So I think I'm gonna leave it like this for now. Let that dry. See how I feel about it. And I'm gonna kind of do the same here. And I'm just tapping a lot of this white off, just so I can get it on there kind of all over the place very lightly. Hopefully my plan will work. We will see. Now this is just gonna be snow in front, so this I'll make a little bit more solid. And then I'm gonna come back and do some shading behind these mounds of snow. I mean, they have different styles of white. Decor does. They have a warm white. They have a cool white. They have a white wash. But to be honest with you, they all look white. Just, I think the color that I'm using, which is the titanium white, they call it snow titanium white. I feel that it's a little bit brighter than the rest of them. But honestly, it's all white. So I might as well just dig out all my snowflakes and paint them. There's a lot of snowflakes. I think I'm going to flip these over. That way I'm not having to put a ton of paint on them. I don't know how many different sizes of snowflakes I cut. But there's a variety here, and you folks can choose what you want. I always like to try and give options when I'm designing. I think that's all of them. So the Cavs lost again last night. They're on a losing streak. I think they've lost 4 in a row. I don't know what's going on. I think they still have the best record, but they're on a downward spiral. I think that needs to be brightened up maybe just a little bit more. And they have a color called Cool White, which I did order. I have the warm white. What I have to wonder with that is, does it have blues in it? See how that, now that seems a little bit brighter than the other, but I'm not gonna sit here and fuss. I did flip these over, the majority of them. So it just would be easier to cover with the white because of the char that you get from a laser cutter. I don't mask my items, my wood rather. Probably something I ought to look into. I was gonna come on later yesterday, but after I finished up, the gas went off here. They were having problems at the well. I guess it was frozen out at the well or something. So the gas was off. That was off for a couple hours. And then I ended up getting an order, because I am running a sale, 15% off. If you see anything you like, you might want to get it, because it does end. It's only this weekend. It might go into Monday, might. But it will definitely be gone by Monday. And I'm not sure when I'll be running another one. And then I did spatter that penguin's hat. And I thought that just added more to that stippling effect. Alright. Well, let's just see. The color I want to use is a color called Winter Blue. It has blue in it, but it's also, I mean, this is a color. It's very light, but it also kind of dries like with a little bit of a gray cast. I've used this to shade white before. So I thought, well, why not try and dry brush with it? I'm really going to rub a lot of this paint out because, like I said, I'm unsure. And I kind of want to be careful. I'm going to start down here. And I'm just going to go the bottom left corner of these rectangles. I could use more paint. I'm just so unsure. And I'm kind of just going back and forth and going up and then to the side just to expand that. I'm just so uncertain about this. And it's very light right now. I will go back and build it up, but and I might actually float some shading just to darken this up a little bit. I definitely will be shading, good morning, around that piece for the opening of the igloo. And I might even throw in a little bit of gray here and there. Well, that was a little bit darker than what I wanted. I might have to go back and dry brush a little bit of white. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I have no idea how I feel about it. And I knew that was going to be an issue. Let's see if I can dry brush a little white on here to brighten it up a little bit. And I'm kind of just going over this blue a little bit as well, just to try and calm it down a little bit. So it's a little bit darker than really what I wanted. It still looks pretty bright on the screen, but it's really not in person. And something I'm thinking about doing is maybe loading highlight in the top right. Because what that'll do is brighten up the white. Honestly, it's not looking too bad. So let me rinse that out in my brush. And I need these brushes to dry. And I'm going to tend to that opening a little bit later. All right. Well, we will see. I'm going to kind of start in an area that I know you won't be able to see because this door covers it up, just to see. See if it'll make a difference. And kind of just walk the float. I don't know about that brush. I don't know if it'll make a difference or not. I really don't. I think what I'll do is I'll do all these lines up and down, and then I'll go back and do a crossed. I think that's probably the smart choice. And then also too, what that does is it makes that white a little bit more solid. I don't know if it's making a difference or not. It kind of looks like it is to me, but in the camera it doesn't look like it. I knew that this particular item was going to be a challenge for me because, like I said, I've never painted an igloo ever. I had a good idea what I wanted it to look like, but how you go about getting that result is another story. And plus to this white, we know it always fades. Too much water. I mean, I could probably take a paintbrush, but then I would end up with a solid line. And that's not really what I want. I kind of want it to blend. So that's why I'm not doing that. And who knows, maybe when I go back over on the other side, up top, it'll kind of tie everything together. I don't know. So we will see. This could possibly be all for naught. I mean, I'm seeing a difference. And if that brush dries, I'll come back and dry brush some white. But you can't dry brush with a wet brush. That's why they call it dry brushing, because your brush is dry. So I really need to let that brush dry. So a big difference from the opening to this. Do I think I need to put a little bit more white on there? Probably. But like I said, this brush is, well, it looks like, it feels like it's dried up a little bit, so let's give it a whirl. Let's see. I just kind of want to calm down that blue a little bit and soften it. I think something too that's throwing me is, throwing me off is seeing the wood. In the background. Yeah, going over that with that wood is starting to soften that. Just right in there, it's just kind of dark up top. It's like there's gray or something in there. Alright, let me try and focus on brightening up some of these corners. A lot of work. I actually was going to shade around that opening, but I'm really rethinking that one. Unless I water down that not water, but mix the blue with some white. That's probably the only way I'll do it. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad at all. Calm it down a little bit more. Just a little bit. Probably if I had to do it over again, what I would have done is I would have mixed that winter blue and some white together. And that's how I would have dry brushed the coloring on. But I'm pretty happy with that, so. Okay. I know that I want this darker part of the opening. I want this opening, the inside part, can't talk, darker. I'm gonna use neutral gray and gray sky, but I think if I was to use this neutral gray just as is, maybe I could do some slate gray. Let me try that. I know slate gray dries a little bit darker. Let me try that first. Maybe if I did a wash. See, that's probably too dark. Yeah, that's darker than what I really want. And I can let that dry. I think snow's going to cover that, but I'm going to look. I didn't cover it that good. So let me try and shade that. I was apprehensive on that as well. I just think that's too dark. It's just too dark. I don't like it. So I knew slate gray was too dark. Why shade with this slate gray? Yeah. But that's just too dark. And the shading color for this gray is actually neutral gray, which is even darker than the slate gray, which that's too dark. be a little bit darker. I'm just winging this. I had an idea in the beginning, but now I'm just winging it and hoping works out. And I'm still gonna try and float some white and see if I can somehow brighten up. It seemed to brighten up a little bit. I need to go back and dig out my score lines, but I brightened it up a little bit. I'm just trying to avoid these square lines. All right. I may need to darken that up. We'll see. And I'm kind of liking this. So this is kind of where we're at right now. Darken the shading. I might have to do that neutral gray to get a little bit more darkness. I might even take well, maybe just a titch of white and go down this one side. A very blended white, just to brighten up that side. I'll need to go over it again. But I just want it to be pretty minimal. I know I'm pretty fussy and it probably drives people crazy, but this is just the type of painter I am. I'm not an experienced painter like some. But I kind of already know what I'm after. And I just do my best to try and get the result that I was looking for. Just kind of want that a little bit wider. And then I need to take a break and empty this water, because it's pretty bad. But I think I'm pretty happy with what I've got going on. I just need to lighten this up a little bit. I wonder if I took... I just want a little bit more solid white, just to try and brighten up around this opening. Because I put that paint on so sparsely, you can see the grain of the wood, and I'm okay with that. Just trying to create a little brightness here and there. What time is it? 10 o'clock. And I'm gonna actually do it here as well. I'm pretty pleased with this. Part of me kind of wants to go over that one shading with darker shading, but I do need to come back and do some shading. Part of me wants to shade around this door so it pops a little bit. All right. I think I'll do a wider. I don't want a wider brush. I'm not one to put my piece down, but I don't think that If I used my cheater, you'd be able to see it. So if I can just get it started, which I can see it. Just want a little bit of shadow, not a whole lot. Probably needs darkened up just a titch. Part of me wants to use this bigger brush, and I'm just going to. And I think after that dries, I will go and shade behind the pile of snow. I might put more up there. I don't think if I use my cheater pencil, I'll be able to see it. No. Well, I can see a little bit. Just kind of wanted that a little bit wider up there. All right. I can kind of see it. That's better. At least I can see and widen that. actually liking this. Will I paint another one anytime soon? No. That's not happening. And probably something I'll do. Let's just put it all together. Kind of was just using that one piece. I still have to shade the snow. Yeah, I do need to, well, since I've got it out. There's hardly any paint on there. I have to go over that shading now. But when I'm thinking, like, butt up the shading right there, and then a dry brush real in that corner. Just to expand that shadow. Then I still have to do this front piece. But I'm liking it. You could spend a lot of time, and I do spend a lot of time, tinkering. And I am going to put one dark strip of neutral gray. Down that one inside. And then I am going to go empty my water. That just darkens it up even more. So after I empty my water, I'm going to come back, do a little shading on these snow piles that are in front of this igloo. Put some shimmer on the snowflakes. And then I think I have some time that I can move on to the next element. So I'm really liking this. It's turning out really nice. A lot better than kind of what I thought it would. So I'm pretty happy. So hopefully you stick around and I will be back shortly. Okay, this is where we left off. Now, I know I want to do some shading behind these piles of snow. I'm not going to do probably every single one, maybe like this one here, this one, maybe even this one. I am going to dry brush over this a little bit because I think it's a little bit too dark. But I'm really liking it. I'm pleasantly pleased. So, but before I do that, I'm going to put some, oh, this needs more white paint. So, that jar is coming out. Back. I'm gonna put some shimmer, and I might end up flipping that over. Who knows? Because that jar is gonna just keep coming out on this white, so I gotta look at where these actually go. But I'm gonna put some shimmer on these snowflakes because it takes a long time to dry. And that one might just need a ton. Who knows? So I'm just gonna go ahead and put all that on now. Hopefully it dries. Do some shading. And how long have I been on here? Almost 2 hours. Yeah, see how that keeps coming out? You know what? I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm just gonna flip it over and do this side. Because I don't care how much shimmer I put on, you're never going to be able to cover that up. And I'm going to put it on kind of thick. I don't care if it's, what's the word I want to use, lumpy. Because that's just going to add dynamic to these snowflakes. And I know you can't see that in the camera. Yeah, this stuff is like really, really thick. But I absolutely love it. And I'll be buying this stuff again. I'll have to put another coat on that one. Whoa, that's too thick. Need to clean that up. So the playoffs are today, and it's going to determine who's in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say much, but I just don't want to see one team in the Super Bowl again. So, I was really hoping Baltimore would win because I think Baltimore would have given them more of a run for their money. But we will see. I don't know what time the games start, but definitely won't be watching that. Okay. I'm going to use, where's my one brush? I wanted a bigger one than that. Where's my bigger? There it is. I'm going to use the gray sky and go and shade behind some of these. And if it gets too dark, darker than what I want, then I'm just going to dry brush some white over top of it to calm it down a little bit. Like I said, I just want it here and there. I'm not going to do every single one because I think that this might make it a little bit too busy. That's pretty light. Now that's really dark. It's feast or famine today. And I might touch up those starting points anyways, because that looks pretty cruddy. Try and dry brush a little bit of white. Just to try and soften it a little bit. So I really kind of wanted it that color, that dark. And I was going to mix white with this color, and I forgot to do that. That's really what I was going to do. And just completely forgot. And now this was a little bit darker than what I wanted. Right in there. So I'm going to try and calm it down a little bit. All right, let's see where we're at. Part of me kind of almost wants to, but it still looks dark in the camera. I mean, anyhow, part of me wants to almost take a cruddy brush and put some of this shimmer opposite of the shading, just like run a line. I don't know if it'll work or not. And I'm going to. I just don't know how it's going to work out. So what's it gonna hurt? Because here's the deal. This is a small piece. If I don't like it, I can recut it. With this stuff being so thick, and I need to clean that score line out pronto. Um, I can just recut it and redo it. Probably should have used a smaller brush. Ooh. And you can't see it in the camera, but just doing this has really made a difference. It just adds a different look. To this piece. I know you can't see it in the camera, it's hard to see that shimmer in the camera. Ugh. Ended up getting way too much out. This stuff is so thick. I did this technique on something else that I did, like a porch greeter, and I just liked how it changed, the look. All right, put this back into the jar. There's way too much squeezed out. I mean, this is how thick it is. It's that thick. I hate how that camera just goes blurry when you try to show something. All right. So, I'm going to glue this off camera because I want that glitter to dry. But this is where we're at. And then, like I said, I created some snowflakes that it's not necessary to put them on. But that's another added touch you can do. So I am going to take a poll on my Facebook page with or without the snowflakes. I mean, it definitely adds something. I don't think it's a takeaway. What do you think? So I'll be putting that poll on there. I'll take a photo and put a poll on. If it'll let me put a poll on a post, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I've never done a poll before, but why not? I always value and appreciate people's opinions. So, well, I didn't get as far as what I wanted, but this igloo took a lot longer than what I anticipated. And I'm okay with it because I absolutely love it. It looks very realistic. It's not boring, and I love it. So, with that being said, I'm going to get off here. Let me just bring my little penguin over here again. So these are the two pieces we created. And I think it's going to be adorable. This is going to be adorable on the fence. I love it. It's very cute, and it screams winter. So we have two more things we have to do, and this will be done. And then we can move on to something different. So until then, I won't be back on until next weekend, and we'll get this wrapped up and move on to something else. So until then, take care. Bye-bye.